Greetings, everyone. Hey, my name is Raheem K. Sean, and I come today to talk to you about cuddle parties and what are they. So just real quick before I go into like exactly what they are, I should talk to you about when we do these things and where in the Atlanta area. If you find yourself in the Atlanta area, we do them every third Friday and every fourth Saturday of the month, from 5 to 8 each day. And we come into the space with a spirit of just love and connection, and we come to do touch therapy work. And so I guess it was just important today to talk about what is a cuddle party. Well, in order to really frame that answer, I'll talk a little bit about touch deprivation. So touch deprivation is a phrase that has become, really popular, that talks about people who are not getting touched these men, who are not getting touched as much. And there's a lot of research to support the idea that we need to be touched. From infancy until like we transition out of this physical realm, we need to be touched in certain ways, in safe ways, and pleasurable ways. It does a lot of work for our immune system. It helps our blood pressure to stay down. It helps us to feel connected. It helps us to regulate our nervous system, regulate certain emotional modes, keep our anxiety and stress down when we have high stress and anxiety lives. And so we need touch, right? So around the 2020, I guess, around whenever COVID was becoming popular and a lot of the lockdowns were happening, I started to notice that a lot more people were talking about just how much mental health was being affected, how much their mental health was being affected by not being in community, by not being social, by not seeing people, and by not being touched, and by not being hugged. And so fast forward maybe about 2 years, 2022, I thought it would be a good idea to start having cuddle parties. Whenever, things had lightened up with the COVID lockdowns and people were feeling safer, doing whatever they felt like they needed to do to take care of their health. I felt like it would be a good idea to give people a space where they could actually start to get their touch needs met in a safe and therapeutic and loving environment. So what are cuddle parties? They're social events, number one. They're social events that meet a couple of needs. Like you get to meet people, you get to network, and you get to get your touch needs met in a therapeutic and they're safe spaces, right? And so cuddle parties are designed to kind of take a lot of the pressure out of something having to go further than cuddling if you don't want it to, right? So a lot of people, because they have a very limited window in which they can experience touch or have been touched in a safe way, it always leads to something else, right? And so I wanted to like lean into a way to create a space where that pressure was lifted, where people didn't feel like that by cuddling somebody, it meant that I had to do something or we had to go anywhere with it, right? And because we're adults and we're all living our lives and experiencing our own autonomy, if you leave the space, then whatever you do outside of space is your business. If you connect with somebody and whatever y'all do is your business, but in the space, sexual energy and sexual behavior is strictly prohibited. It's a no, right? We practice setting boundaries with people. So we practice saying, one of the things that we practice is how do we respond to and actually set our boundaries? How do we respond to boundaries? How do we set them? So one thing that we practice when we're doing the communication therapy, because the way that I've structured it, communication therapy is a part of the cuddle party. So there are times where we're literally just sitting around talking with each other and practicing getting in touch with our needs, expressing our needs, and then how do we actually make space for and respond to people setting their needs and setting boundaries and asking for their needs to be met. So what we do in order to do this is that we say, you go come into space and you ask somebody, we partner up, and then you ask your partner, can I touch your earlobe or something like that? And then they say no. Then you say, thank you for taking care of yourself. And then that person says, thank you for creating a safe space for me to do so, right? So this is a practice and this is a skill that you can carry into any relationship in your life. Whenever you are having trouble, there may be some shame around your needs. There may be shame around vulnerability in your family system or your culture, your religion, your environment. And you're trying to do healing work around undoing that shame, unlearning that my needs are burdensome or they're too much, or that it's shameful to have needs, or that it's shameful to just express needs. This is one of the tools that you can use in that process. And so we practice that as a communication therapy piece. And then I bring 3 poses that have been researched to reduce stress and anxiety and improve immunity and improve connection. And then we come in and we cuddle. I make suggestions while we're in the pose. When we make suggestions, you should ask, like if I say, hug your partner and just put your hands right here and just, and then I may make a suggestion to gently, rub your shoulders rub your thumbs on their shoulders. And then you should ask for that. Is it okay if I rub my shoulder on your thumb? And then some people may feel like that, just it's a little too intimate for them for right now. And they may say no. And you say, thank you for taking care of yourself. And then they respond, thank you for creating a safe space for me to do so, right? So this is, again, something that you can create. You can start to give the children. You can start, that you're socializing around communication, that you're socializing and you're undoing generational and family trauma around suppressing needs and making people feel bad for having needs, making people feel burdensome for having needs. And then, generations of just not even teaching people how to be in touch with their needs, how to identify their needs, right? While we're doing this work of kind of like socializing children in a different way, this is a tool that you can give them to when they're with their friends or when they're in school or when they're at church or when they're with whatever, they can ask for their needs, right? And if somebody asks them for something that they don't like, they can say no, it's okay, right? And if somebody tells them no, you can respond, well, thank you for taking care of yourself, right? And we can change a whole frequency in the society, in our experiences by just that one tool, right? So then after we cuddle, we have a share, which is a part of the communication therapy piece. We all sit around in a circle. We share what you feel safe sharing, everything that goes on and is said in the cuddle space, the sacred space that we're creating to do this healing work. I ask that it stay there, but you only share what you're comfortable sharing, right? Because no matter what I say and what safe container I create, the chances that it may be shared elsewhere are there. So you come in and you share what you feel comfortable sharing, as vulnerable as you are comfortable being in this space with these people that you just met or whatever the case may be. And then we offer, if you're open to it, right, which is another boundary setting, right? You can say, no, I'm not open to help, or I'm not open to suggestions. I'm not open to anybody speaking into my situation, right? I don't need a perspective. I just need to be heard. I just need to vent, right? Which is another communication therapy technique that I wanted to bring into the space, because there are times where we're sharing and we really just want to vent. We really just want to share, but we don't know how to say that. And then we're with people who feel they care about us, and then they feel they have the right, or they feel the need to share or to critique or to give us advice. And we don't want that. We just want to share, right? And so then this is another tool that you can take out into your space and into your relationships. And again, share with children. Hey, I just want to vent right now. I don't need advice. I don't need feedback. I don't need you to tell me anything. I don't need you to help me solve a problem. This isn't a problem. This is just something I want to share because I want to be more vulnerable and intimate and open with you as my friend, or as my mother, or as my partner, or as my dad, whatever. Right? So that's another communication therapy skill and technique and tool that I bring into the space to offer people to carry out into their greater contexts, if you will. And so after we do the the circle share, what I call the circle share, then we cuddle puddle, right? And the rules to the cuddle puddle, this is a really fun part to me, because the rules to the cuddle puddle is that 2 parts of your body should be touching 2 different people. So your leg is on one person, your arm, your chest is on somebody's chest is on your chest, and then your hand should be touching someone else, right? And we ask again, remembering that boundary setting rule around, is it okay if I lay on your chest, my chest on your chest? Yes. No. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for creating a safe space for me to do so. Is it okay if I use my hand to touch your leg? Yes. Okay. No. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for creating a safe space for me to do so, right? So in the cuddle puddle, this is where we get really relaxed and start sharing. We a lot of times, what I found in the past is that people start sharing their history. They start talking about where they're from. And my daddy was from there. Oh, I'm from here. And then my granddaddy. Oh, we migrated. My family migrated from there 2 or 3 generations, right? We just get to really create community and connection. And we start to see this web of connections that we have, which, again, improves immunity. It makes people feel supported. It reduces anxiety. It calms the nervous system. We actually get more tactile benefits from it, actually, like the nerves on our skin endings, feeling people in a safe and non-sexual, loving, health promoting way. And then we sometimes we have a sister that comes into the space and she shares vegan meals. And she does sound healing at the end. We do chakra bowl sound healing. So we're offering 3 beautiful types of healing in the space. You get like a 3-for-1 for $25. It's a steal. You get sound therapy, touch therapy, and communication therapy with people who are really, really powerful in their gifts to do so, right? Not just doing it because we like to, but we do like to, but also because we're gifted. I'm gifted in doing therapy and in doing awareness work and communication work and all types of work with people. I have a gift in that, right? And so I get to offer that to people in a very powerful and intimate and ministry way, right? And the sister that does the food is gifted in nutrition and health and cooking, mothering, like the kitchen, culinary, water, energy, just gifted and gifted in sound. Her voice is so beautiful. She does the sound. She kind of like tunes into the space and kind of like intuits what chakra energy needs to be addressed in the space. And she typically uses 2 or 3 bowls. And we sit, however we want to sit, and we receive the energy. We just get poured into, which again is another form of therapy, because then we can bring and go out into this world and bring that energy that's been poured into us out and give it to other people. And so every 3rd Friday, every 4th Saturday, we're doing cuddle parties. Again, it includes touch therapy, sound therapy, communication therapy, all for $25. It's at the Kindred Healing Center, 1800 Jonesboro Road, Southeast Atlanta, up in the Lakewood area. And the Kindred Healing Center, I also should talk just a little bit about that. It's a healing space created by a sister named Oriola, Black sister, all Black healers and practitioners of all different types of modalities of healing. It's a space that she created to make healing work accessible, to make it cheap to free to community, like some type of community situation, to where people who are resource either insecure or resource conscious can get therapeutic modalities that we developed, indigenous people developed, for cheap, and that are really community priced, and community is in the forefront of the mind. So come out. I'd love to see y'all. It'll be a beautiful time. Again, every 3rd and 4th Saturday, from 5 to 8 each day. All right. Hope to see y'all out. Happy cuddling.